So by the time that we get done here today, things will be realigned and rebalanced for you. Okay, so that's first and foremost. So just know that things will be realigned and rebalanced for you. Some of you are coming out of compromise. Okay, so when they say compromise, compromising with yourself. And so one of the things that they want me to remind you of is there is no sin. You only create sin when you go against your true self, when the most authentic self comes through in that vibration. So you only create your own sin by you not being in a space of truth with thyself. So when they gave me the vibration and the word of stagnation, which is compromise, you're in a place of compromising to think you have to compromise in order to get what you want. That's type of bartering system, right? In a sense, with the universe, right? And they're talking to me right now is that things don't have to be compromised. Things don't have to be compromised the way that your mind is seeing them being compromised. Okay? So they're talking about the reflection and to change that perspective right now. Others are you are revitalizing in this time to where new things are coming online. So we're going to jump in because they're asking me to begin in a different space with earth, air, fire, water. So what they've had me paying attention to, which is messages for you to pay attention to, is destiny, your north node, your passions, your purpose, your placements, right? And things in those ways. So we're going to start off, and there's just going to be a couple messages here as we go round robin, earth, air, fire, water here, okay? Earth signs, it's time to re-stabilize and re-foundationalize your identities, what you identify with, things you want to cultivate through. And that's what this Saturn in retrograde is doing with you, especially in the Piscean energy. It is truly cultivating something new within you that you will be cultivating outside of you. So the things that are revitalizing in your foundations right now are things that you are somehow incorporating. So what they're giving me is taking the past experience, knowledge, wisdoms that you've actually learned and implementing them, right? Implementing on the wellspring, implementing into things that are going to give back to you and invest back to you. So it's very foundational. Now, in the ways of gift, spiritual abilities, and prophecies, these are legacies. These are things that you've been wanting to build. There has been a stagnation of the not know how to in reverberation, and all of that is changing this week for you. Air signs. The communication, of course, is going to be huge at this time. So your clairaudience is going to literally heighten at this time, especially with Mercury hitting in retrograde. A lot of people take these retrogrades as something negative, especially when we have the karmic planets in cycle. But see, you have to remember that Pisces is ruled by Jupiter as well as Neptune. And Jupiter is all about your legacies, your foundations, your businesses, things you want to create and build, right? Okay, so it's having you, which makes sense under the structure of Saturn, which is the karmic planet, the father planet, revitalize and restructure not only your spiritual identity, what you pour into to receive, but also what is your foundation, what is your identity, okay? So it makes sense there. For air signs, it's really going to be about how you communicate and how you use the vibration of your frequency to make mountains move. The words that you use, they're telling me that you speak the life and death in that cycle, right? So the breath that you give to speaking to those things into existence are going to be very big this week. They're showing me an opening, which means a gateway, right? So if they're showing me an opening and a gateway, that means that there is some type of opening or a doorway. Some of you guys refer this to as doorways. Some of you refer them to as portals, right? There's an opening, okay, or a gateway that is available to you to be able to speak through. It's something that is denoted with the time clock, right? And we talk about divine timing. So air signs, there is something for you in this divine timing, in this North Node series, okay, for you to be able to manifest through. And it's with the very breath that ensues you. So it really is right now, air signs, about you speaking life and death into your own breath. Again, they want me to reiterate There is no sin, but you create sin yourself when you go against the truest, authentic self of you. Okay, so then in your reverberation, when you're not in alignment, when something doesn't feel right, okay, that is not of divine, right? It is offline. It doesn't align. It doesn't feel right. It's not in unity. The divine will provide unity, peace, and provisions, right? It doesn't make you go like inside. And so air signs, they're wanting you to really pay attention to things that are said and how they make you feel versus what they cultivate for you. So it's going to be very important for you specifically to understand that you have the gift of gab, to understand that you speak life and death with every breath off of your tongue. And so therefore, this is how your wellspring has begun. You're not in this state of not becoming any longer. You are in the become, is what they said. So you understand that things are in divine alignment, and you can see how things are playing out for you the way that they didn't used to, but you might assume that they might go that way, but things are not as they seem right now. Okay, all right. There are new codes, fire signs, that you are receiving at this time. Some of you are grieving. And when I say grieving, okay, I mean that you doesn't necessarily just mean a loss. It's a loss of not understanding what has come at a cost, is what's being said to me. It's a loss to you. You're grieving something that you don't understand how it relates to you, and you also feel like it may be in vain. So it's like a personal thing, but at the same time, the loss that you're grieving is actually breathing life into you, because of what you think you're grieving is something outside of you that is not something good for you to hold on to. So there is this state, and I don't mean like, oh, you're in boo-hoo. It's you have unanswered questions. It's more of unanswered questions and a reflection of understanding how that quote-unquote situation helped you. This is where you're looking back to the past, which is okay, because that's kind of the inside game right now, especially with Saturn in retrograde, fire signs. You're going, okay, that was shitty, but what did I learn from that has actually got me here? So there's this nothing is in vain sequence, and this is the power to refrain. So there may be instances that you come up against right now, fire signs, all right, that is really about your worth, right? And when we talk about worth, it's going to make you question what you deserve in some type of way, where you feel like you're like, oh, well, you know, I know that I'm really good at this thing, and I know that I'm worth more than this thing, but I don't know if I'm going to ask for more than that thing. They're asking you to ask for more than what you think that you're worth, and allow that to show you something new. They're telling me that they're doing a new thing, which relates back to biblical things. And so they're doing a new thing, and they're talking about the wellspring. And it's not just about physical provisions. It's not just about financial provisions. It's about you seeing all the provisions that are being provided in friendships and community ties and things that you've allowed to fall away, doors that you've allowed to shut through. You know, it's really about these new passions and these new things being seated inside of you, because you're realizing that nothing that you went through was in vain. Those experiences that you feel like you're grieving are not the same, because you're not looking at it with the same grievances. You're not looking at it with the same eyes. So then therefore, it's revitalizing this seed inside of you to keep a power of passion and persistence. Here's the key to this. When you're in this fiery transition, you're going to feel temptation. You're going to feel the energy of wrath kind of coming up inside of you, right? That is where you have to literally hold back, because that is where you compromise your own journey. Okay? And so when you're feeling these new seeds of passions and so on and so forth, you're going to have resistance that tries to lead you into temptation in a space and a place of wrath, right? So it's going to be, you're going to not just see one or two, you're going to see a lot of different unjust things that are being brought up into the surface. Not just in family dynamic, not just in personal dynamic, not just in community dynamic. You're going to see it everywhere, right? So that's the warrior spirit, right? And the warrior spirit is what we know. You're not playing chess anymore. You're not even playing checkers anymore. I'm telling you this. You guys are feeling this. I know you're feeling this right now. If you're feeling this, please drop a like, drop a share, drop a comment. Pour into the wellspring of what you're receiving to hear it. And so in this time and space, you understand that this spirit of wrath is coming up to you for a reason. You have to know when to be in obedience to speak it, because you can cause your own treason. Remember when I said that God told me he was doing a new thing, and he's renewing, and he's bringing new prophets and new to the spirit, right? Well, this is where you are learning obedience and how and what that means in transparency. It doesn't always mean that you are sitting here and you are literally speaking everything you say, because that causes your own spirit to be in a lack of vibration where you think you have to say something. It's divine obedience. So when you're feeling that resistance, not only because of planetary things, but because of things that are outside of you, okay, you are coming up with the resistance with this wrath. That wrath is seeding inside of you to tell you everything that you should know. It is temptation. Don't do it. Don't go there. You're going to have that stupid shit. You're going to have people saying shit. You're going to have people showing their asses. You're going to have this. You're going to have that. It's not to bring up the spirit of wrath. Yes, it's unjustified. Yes, you don't like injustice. You want just, right? So then, of course, if you're not in your emotional discernment, you're going to realize that that's the enemy working against you so that you step into the art of temptation. It's like giving a 2-year-old a power tool, basically. If you don't know how to wield your power, you're going to mess up your own flower, okay? And that is the curse in which you place upon you. Remember, I said, and Spirit said immediately, there is no sin. You only create your own sin when you are not in truth of you. So that's very important for some reason right now, fire signs. Now we're moving on to water, okay? Water. Woo! Your visions are intense, your dreams are intense, and you're moving into more of a version of your true self rather than the version that was emplaced upon yourself, is the best way I can say that. Because they're giving me like 3 or 4 different versions of you, okay? Depending on how you would show up in front of whoever or whatever. Now those things are, you're in a place of where your visions are wholeheartedly coming through, and this is not just at night, this is day and night, okay? You're an emotional wreck, okay. Okay, the emotional wreck space in which they're talking about is things where you are just coming into more of a peaceful presence where you're understanding divine flow. Anytime that you feel that resistance inside of you, understand that it's asking you to rebalance your emotions within you and within your devotions, okay? You're very unsettled in your emotions, but this is not you. This is outside of you. This is things trying to trigger a response to those emotions, which are messing up your devotions. It's kind of making your mind go all over the place too in the heart space. So this is a part of emotional maturity and spiritual maturity that you're walking through, because you're in a place of observing what's coming through. Damn. Okay. Water signs right now, they're showing me that you have no ties to anything. So it's as if there is no more soul contracts, karmic contracts, no more attachments, however you want to speak that, okay, that gives you the same vibration. There's nothing else attached to you. What you're moving through right now is the emotional trajectory of what's been left from the past vibrations that have been left over from that. So they're talking about your body releasing the toxins right now, whether it's through sweat, whether it's through meditation, whether it's through movement. Movement is going to help your vibration the most right now, okay? For you also, water signs, they're asking you to connect to a higher timeline. There's something that you're resisting in your spiritual process to do. There's something that you're resisting in your spiritual process to do. And you could call it a call to the prophetic, a call to the healing, right? But they said you're being called to the ceiling, which is past you. Okay, so it's almost as if like you keep putting a ceiling above you that stops you, but Spirit is wanting you to break through that ceiling for the revealing. They're giving me the color combinations right now in your chakra system, denoting the auric field. And of course, the last color that they're giving me is the magenta color. And you have to remember that in between all of the colors of the rainbow, there is still color. And so it's like I see you moving through this last piece of whatever has kept you weak. Okay, and it's like this big spiritual breakthrough that you're going to have this week. They're giving me the energy of the 17th and the 18th for you water signs. This is a big spiritual breakthrough that you're going to have. Some of you are going to have visions placed before you. Others of you are going to connect and commit to something new. All right, but this is something sacred, and this is a what we call what we call an investment, but what we also call an inheritance. It's a spiritual inheritance being given back to you, because now you have the power to wield it inside of you and outside of you. Your vision is going to be, thank you, hang on. Okay, can you not? Because that really bothered me. Thank you. They took me to 2 different places at one time and it messed with my eyes. So give me a minute. Okay, and that's what they're trying to do to you. Part of this is your seeing ability and you being able to split between 2 scenes at one time. All right, so give me a moment here to revitalize that. I didn't know they were going to do that to me. So some of you are going to be pulled into where you get into past things, but it's not your past. It's a collective past to show you the past and how it is playing out in the present. So some of you would call this time traveler. Some of you would call this looking glass, right? You're going back from, you're being taken on vision quests, going back to collective memory. Thank you, Spirit. Going back from collective memory into the now so that they can show you how it's playing out. Others of you, your visions are going to get way more intense when you sleep. And what I mean by that is things are about to peak for you where you're going to get very specific visual content that is going to be significant to you, but to others too. When I say this, it's going to be a very detailed presence. You're not going to be outside of the picture looking in. You're going to be inside of the picture. The way that they show me that I'm outside of the picture versus inside of the picture is they take me and I'm looking at a picture on a wall, okay, like a painting, all right? And then they show me all the hustle and bustle and everything that's going on that way. The other times they take me and they put me in the picture, and then I feel and see all the details of the energies. So it's no longer going to be from the outside in, it is going to be from the inside the dream. So some of you may have a dream inside of a dream, okay? And this is 2 dimensions coming together in osmosis and then splitting apart, which also gives you deja vu, water signs. So there's a lot of spirituality that's coming up to the surface to help you hone in, reclaim, and repower these abilities within your own flower, is what's being said to me. There is, for the entire collective, there is a precipice in which you're feeling upon your spirit with an energetic shift, okay? Now, most of you feel it very overwhelmingly. Others of you feel it sporadically. So when I say overwhelmingly, they're giving me that you're feeling euphoria, heart palpitations, and visions at the same time for a period of time throughout the day. Others of you are getting it in sporadic ways. Spurts of euphoria, spurts of where your heart center just beats up really quickly, and this anxiousness. They want you to come back to center, drink a glass of water, okay, and allow yourself to go into a meditation to receive the codes. That is for the whole collective. They have been bringing up for me for the last 3 days, actually longer than that. I think this was a conversation last week that I had 5 days now, 5 to 6 days ago, that I had with one of my mentees. Thank you so much for your gifts. And with that being said, they had been bringing up the tabernacle. And I just got proof of the tabernacle last night and what they were talking about. They actually have found the tabernacle, okay, where the Ark of the Covenant was kept. This is all biblical. Hear me out. It's all prophecy. It's playing out, but it doesn't refer to this time now. Okay, it's talking about how the things and the sanctuaries and the places and the spaces and the knowledge and the wisdoms were taken away, the losses and the grievances, through time shaping things and making things seem like they were, but not, which is irrelevant, because for whatever reason, they're showing me the true reality and then two different subsequent realities of existence on either side of that specific timeline. This does have to do with them messing with things so much in reality and keeping us stuck. So the tabernacle is a place in which prayer and worship was first kept. That place is now being found. So the tabernacle now today is where you come into play. All of the sacred knowledge and wisdoms are being unearthed, not only underneath the ground, but within you. And yes, it hurts. It hurts to remember where you came from to what is new. But at the same time, it's showing you had to forget. You had to forget or you would have messed it up. You also were made to forget. It wasn't the way the divine cultivated it in this timeline. It's the way that things were used. It's the way that you were enslaved. It's the way that you were abused. And so there may be some of those generational grievances as these new things and these new knowledge and wisdoms come up, and they want me to make sure that that is very portrayed significantly to the entire collective. Okay, now the next narrative and directive is not going to play out the way that a lot feel and think about things, because a lot of you have the understanding of a higher mind frame. A lot of you, and I have spoken this, and they're making sure that I reiterate this, a lot of people that are in that energy that come to me, you have to understand that you are in a different place, in a different frequency and time. I was told for a very long time, you're going to see a lot of these things, but you will not be a part of these things. And things are definitely splitting apart at the seams in many different ways. Okay? You have to come back to center, grounded truth, and understand what that is for you. For some of you, they've hid your mind. Okay, I'm going to break that down. They've hid your mind. That goes back to this breakthrough through the ceiling with the Piscean energy in retrograde. Thank you. So when they say that they've hid your mind from you, what that means is everything that has been bogged down inside of you, in your head. The Christ consciousness that was misled and misbred. A lot of people jump onto the bandwagon of spirituality until they realize that they get caught up in misconstituality. Then they have to face reality, coming back down to the foundation of self and a grounded vibration, understanding the cultivation of one's true identity and what they suffer through in temptation, because it is not of them. It is only what helps them remember the process through, remembering what they are truly connected to and the energy that they bring through. A lot of you are new and connecting with interstellar energies. A lot of your jobs right now are key codes, ley lines, and grid work. That's what they're telling me. For some of you, yes, this hurts. There's a hurting in the chest. There's a hurting in the heart. And this is where you need to start. It's a grounded process between grief and things that you oppressed yourself with. So the submission request is for you to understand where you have allowed and subdued yourself to not be able to take a demand or a stand. where you have not been sovereign to self, where you have not trusted yourself, where you have put everything and everyone above everyone else but yourself. They're giving me the vision, of course, of what we would call the phoenix, but I actually see it as a hawk. And the reason that I'm seeing it as a hawk is because it's like your wings are expanding, your wings are unfolding, and there's new life and there's new breath that's being given to you in a request. Okay, I heard manifold, and then I was like, wait a minute, can you say that again? Because you were not saying manifold, you were actually giving me 3 words, and it all kind of conglomerated as one. So I heard manifold in a human aspect, but what they are saying is manifest threefold. The energy and the peaks of this week are allowing you to take a leap. It's almost as if there's not a no to any type of opportunity, but you have to remember that sometimes Spirit and the divine will test you in temptation to see what you choose to do. So divine on everything this time. There's a lot of energy where there is so much new, there's so much abundancies in the well springs of things that you can do. But you guys are making the movement move. A lot of you are now not leading into your own understanding in what you do. You're just going with what you feel that you need to do. There's no thinking. You are no longer becoming. You are new. So this goes back to the vibration of no longer where you are in a place and a space of placing yourself in that vibration. It also is taking me back to something I said a little while ago, that you're no longer on assignment. You know, you're no longer on consignment. The only thing they just keep saying is true. So it's really important for you to stay in that vibration and true to you. They're asking me to step into this, so we will. So I'm going to read the sacred scrolls in which were given to me as they've asked me to do. And it's a privilege and an honor every time I get to read this, because something comes out and something is new and something is given to each and every one of you, even if you see it in a new way or a new vision or a new download. So here we go. Thank you so much for your love and your time. The seed of creation, or did you forget? In the beginning it was us and we were it. You wanted to experience it. Time and space is what took place from many different frequencies that allowed it to be brought on by many different creeds and beings that became the seed, which then became the word to be. The Divine Mother planted the seed of creation. Your Mother Earth that I created was never meant to be a way station. You were born to create. You were born to have fun. You were born from the light. That's where it begun. The sands of time have clogged your mind. Frequency turned to words, left your voice unheard. You forgot all that you learned when you emerged. Time and space is what took place. You were never meant to be erased in this densely lit place. You came to your senses with divine comprehension. You reinforced your prism. Clearing out the masses, you finally chose to take off your rose-colored glasses. Your mind raced as your heart stood still, not knowing then what would take place. Red pill, blue pill, no choice at all. Waiting for time and space to fall, wondering if and when you would hear the call. Come the one and come the all, as your mother's voice stood tall. You knew the answer and you heard your call. The spark, the fire, the flame, call it what you want here, your words are all the same. The masters and the spirits already know your name. It's an imprint through all time and space. Do you even remember from which dimension you came? How come you don't know or even remember your truest of name, the one the Creator gave you when it birthed you in all of your light with all of its sight? Time stood still the day you were born. You came out perfect. You were never meant to be torn. You were made to believe what your human eyes could perceive. Don't you see the light I gave you is inside of me? Make no mistake. Oh my, how you've grown. It shows in your smile, a newfound home. The tides have turned. Oh, what a mess. What did you think? I was not in distress. Did you think I would forget? My children come from wide and far. A uniting of their tongues will soon roar. The trumpets will sound and be silenced no more, in perfect peace and harmony once more. No longer can you claim my land, you see. It was never yours to begin with. It's what you made it out to be. Oh, how you have disrespected the one you call God, who is truest in nature. I sent my son in physical form to represent me, the eternal flame, the divine creator. He had natural abilities to be the protector and fulfill the divine prophecy, to complete the sacred sectors of geometry. He did exactly what I asked of thee, but you personified him, persecuted him, turned him into a sacrifice because you were scared of thee. But this time I made the order taller, that he comes back as she, all in divine order. You'll see, a gift to my children. A peaceful presence will return. Justice for all was my bond and my word. The Creator has watched all that you've done. Did you think you would get away with your fun? Torture, slavery, and greed from day one? Don't you worry, your judgment day will come. You've taken way more than what you need, and this will no longer be a place of greed. No matter what race, lineage, or creed, my children have come to unite, you see. Under my grace, you took from every age, race, and gender, people suffering while you danced in a splendor. Not thinking that my children of the light would catch on to your demise. Divide and conquer was your prize. The war you made was on their minds, only to trap their souls as your prize. There is one you could not trick, the Creator, the all, the infinity. Can't you see? The tables have turned. You better run quickly. You made my children forget the prophecy. Through your words you used as frequency. Your lies and unspoken truths you hid from thee. But you forget the Creator can see every nook and every cranny and every thought to be, for it wrote the divine prophecy of eternity. My children have come to unite, you see, from near and far. I put out a grand call for a great awakening. Come the one and come the all. My heart beat that grounds their feet. My lands, my rivers, my plants and trees. What a sweet treat, but they have forgotten what connects them all to me and you. A dream, something that won't come true. Far-fetched they think, but that's the key. Divine intervention no one can see, but the truest of eyes and hearts that beat. We returned the call. We knew the answer. The 144 was the answer. From every lineage, race, dimension, and creed. For they remember the code to be, as they have walked this path since the beginning of humanity. I hid them this time from near and far. Where every 1 million, there's only 3. I was way smarter than you could believe. We also gathered those that carried the feather and the rose. To be, they come from faraway places of many backgrounds, colors, and races, not from these familiar places. They are here to spark the masses, to create a higher expansion, and this is what you call rapid ascension. Inner earth and outer earth are about to merge. This will no longer leave your voice unheard. You found peace in the silence, left behind so much violence, only to become vulnerable once more, that left you on your knees in front of my door. Voices churned as your emotions burned, trying to find peace in the silence once more. Tender pieces finally put together in one frame, not from disdain, but because you finally remembered your name from which you came. The demons in your brain from which you came, you had to learn to refrain until nothing but my voice remained. You had to learn that the spirits of disdain already knew your name as you came to complete your destiny once more. Turning the pages, you learned from the sages how to find peace in the silence. Moving away from spiritual violence, your life you knew was never going to be a bore the energies of the enemies knew when you were born. This is the meticulous beginning of our sequel. You had to learn that you were not all created equal. Your frequency and light were that of mine. This I had to teach you in due time. And soon you would learn that everything would work out fine. Trusting the process put you humans in such distress. Time is not equal. That's why this is the beginning of the second sequel. You are my people. The spaces in the in-between is where you had to sew up the seams so your light could not be seen. You have come so far from who you are to what you are. This is the most growth that I've seen thus far. You had to come back home to me and no longer flee from what was inside of you and me. I am your equal. I created the heavens and the earth and all the planets that reside. Put your differences aside and come alive. Everyone transitions, which is what you call death, but not everybody lives and know what it's like to give. Give to the one that gave to you. I reside in each and every one of you. The merging of the two, the inner you, the outer you. You call that your higher self, I think to be true. The inner earth and outer earth, the heavens and the earth will merge once more. This cycle will no longer be born. It was all part of the perfect storm and the process in which you forget. Don't worry, it's nowhere near over yet. There's plenty of time to reflect and process all that you are, and once your knees hit the door, you'll remember once more. It's true. I created the heavens and the earth with the help of your birth. To the depths of what comes next, To the depths of your soul, you're so very old, it's wrapped in gold. Behold, the stories that were left untold. All is about to unfold. This is something you've been told. Your heart is so very bold. Don't believe all you have been sold, told, and nothing more can be bought, borrowed, sold, or left untold. These are the stories of gold about to unfold that have never been borrowed, bought, sold, or told. This is a prophecy so very, very old, and it all starts with the gold. There are very specific key codes and things that activate many different things inside of people. Can you not? Sorry, they itch my nose like crazy. I apologize. Not very becoming of me, but hey, I can't help it. So there's a lot of double numbers that you're seeing. There's a lot of things that are going to play out. There's a lot of things that you're going to see in the in-between of the seams, the gift, the abilities, the provisions, the well springs. All of that is transferring over. But it's not just transferring over in a financial wealth space. This is the reciprocity. This is going back to Joseph's economy. If any of you kind of go back into that understanding of the wellspring and what those things are not in relation to us in that way in biblical context, but you can see how similar things are playing out in a patternized way today. And so what this is giving you is it's giving you a place to go, okay, I understand what was meant in that context at that point in time, but how does this relate in this motion, in this notion today? So that's kind of the revitalizing that you're going through. So there is going to be a lot of inheritances, a lot of gates, which are doors, a lot of opportunities that are going to be unlocked for many of you as you sit and observe into the spaces and discern that God is asking you to sit into, right? You always have to understand, is it temptation through vibration, or is this something that is going to allow me to provision not only my abundancies but others too? It's not just for you, it's for other things and to other diversities too. So the temptation is what you may be fighting against because you guys want to do and you guys want to go, but yet you're being asked to fold in yourself and divine on if it's the right time and if it's you're supposed to do. When you know that it's the right time, there can be chaos happening all around you, but you're in peace because you understand it's the domino sequence of events. So there is a domino sequence of events that is not only playing internally and physically in your human vibration, in your personal existence and experience, because you wanted to experience the experiences that you're having. You came here to do what you came here to do as destiny pulls through and to have the experiences that you have. You're to make the best of those experiences. So with that being said, you understand how those things from past vibrations and the past ways that you used to think might keep you in stagnation. When it comes from the divine, it comes with peace, it comes with security, and it comes with unity, okay? The divine provides every step in the way. It may not be how you think it's to come through, but the divine always provides when you know you are in sacred alignment, all right? So if you guys would like to jump into doing some healings with me today, I think what I'm going to do here is do as I say I do and do as I said I was going to do. What I am going to do is realign each and every one of you and balance you out this time. Yes, all 62 of you. It is not difficult to do. It might be for a lot of you, but for me it is not. And so we are going to balance and align all 62 of you right now to bring in clarity. 63. If you choose to receive, to be put into your own balanced chakra system in alignment, to be able to have the open flow of the vortices between front and back, not from a place of just one space, because when you understand the vibration and frequencies and how the body works in relation to many different things, you understand that it is not a one-way track, it is not a disc, it is not any of that, okay? It is a seed of a frequency of vibration that's literally about this big in your system. It might feel like it's this big, but that's how they portray it on a human level to get human people to understand those things. It's not even a disc. It's a funnel system. It's a vortice that goes all the way through your body. And you wonder why the 13 chakras that you have inside and outside of your body relate to your auric field, right? So 13 layers of the auric field. 13 chakra bodies, basically in full, all right, from top to bottom. And we are going to make sure that all of those are in alignment and you have a specific key codes that you need to move on in clarity and peace. I ask that if you are in that motion and notion to receive the divine energy through me to you, I ask that you like, you comment, you share, you subscribe, you even sit there and maybe choose, if it's put through you through the divine, to donate through the PayPal link at this time. Okay? Here we go. So when I do this with people, I walk them through on what's going on and exactly what or how they may feel these things, because it's important for me to interpretate to the clients not only what's going on, what I see, and how that is actually being moved and removed in your authenticity of vibration here, okay? Now, when I start in this energy, all right, you're going to receive energy from 2 places. So at this time, I ask that you take a deep breath, all right? Come into a place of where you just feel stillness. Now, some of your bodies are really rigid. I can feel the overwhelming of tension and the oppression on the shoulders and in the hip area and vibration. So most of you are sitting right now. As you take the deeper breaths, I ask for you to feel into your body and breathe into that system that feels heavy. When I say breathe, I want you to imagine that that place in your body that you're feeling oppressed, that you are feeling that stagnant energy, I want you to imagine it inside your head that it has pores, as it does, and it is open to breathing. And as you breathe in, okay, divine light, love, universal energy, you breathe out old, stale, stagnant energy. When you start to do this wherever you are sitting or laying down at this time, you're going to actually feel your body starting to come into oneness with whatever you're sitting in, which means you are coming into present state. Some of you may feel your body completely relaxed, where you start to feel no difference between you and the item that you are in. Some of you are in a bed, some of you are on a couch, some of you are on the floor, and some of you are by your altar space right now at this time. Okay? Now, with that being said, I want you to take another deep breath for me. And as you breathe in light, love, unity, and divine healing energy, I ask that you release all old, stale, stagnant energy at this time for this to work. I also ask that each one of you in your own presence speak that you are open to receive the divine life force energy coming through moi to you. If you do not, you will not open those centers to receive those vibrations. So then therefore you'll tell me that I'm a fake, but it won't happen because you're going to feel and see anyway, each and every one of you. It doesn't matter if you've done this before or not. You're going to have an experience. You're going to have an elevation. You're going to have some type of breakthrough or deliverance that you may have in stagnation. So some of you may see this as chakra work, and I see this as biblical, as I am a minister and a prophet as well. So I want you to understand, I'm going to be delivering you from the traumas and the cycles that you've been in. Now, what that means is that perspectives are going to shift, mindsets are going to shift, but at the same time, you might have the emotional release. At the same time, your body might feel the emotion. So you then might have some type of feeling in your body. That is the energy that we are going to push through, that will not and cannot remain in your body to cause more pain or distortion as we move through these things in your vessel. All right? Now, if each of you just take comfortable deep breaths for me as I get started here in my own energy, we are going to move through this. Now, the way that I do this, it doesn't matter what I do, but I will explain it to you exactly how I do it, because I feel as though if you understand what I'm doing, then I'm teaching you something at the same time for you to use in your own space. your root chakras. So when we talk about emotional stability, when we talk about mental stability, our root here, in which I am actually vibrating in right now, some of you may feel heat, some of you may feel cold. All right, most of the time you're not really going to feel a whole bunch of a lot of things until I get about right here between solar and heart space. That's when you're going to really start to feel the buildup of euphoria here. Okay, but in the same time here, we are grounding your energy in, which means I am anchoring your earth star chakra into Gaia. I am communing, I am asking Gaia to help me open up the channels through your feet, through your body here, as we move into the root chakra. Now, what Gaia is doing is Gaia is supplementing you with the profound energy of thy mother at this time, and divine healing energy through earth energy, all right, as we move up into the root. Now, what that does is not only does the root chakra work with your occipital nerve, which also acts and works in your visual space. So when you affect one space, you're affecting another space. Take a nice big deep breath here for me as I balance this space out. There are 10 of you that are holding on to some very old patterns of coding that come from the mother and father vibration. Thank you. Now I'm closing the door off to the root, and the reason that I'm closing it is because I'm not going to be in that energy any longer. That is all you. What this means to you is the vorticity now in the root is easier for you to stabilize. It won't be compromised. If something is said to you, or you take something into an unjust, or it tries to knock you off and breed you anxiety or hurt or whatever that is, you're going to have the emotional stability here to allow this energy of the divine intuition to observe, to tell you exactly what it is that you're feeling in vibration and why that was said to you. It has nothing to do with you. So you're going to be able to see things from an outer, and why that was said to you, it has nothing to do with you. So you're going to be able to see things from an outer shell perspective. Okay. And a lot of you victimize yourself, where you take things on as being you, or you being the cause. And this is where we're balancing that out, where they're giving you another perspective to show you that it's not always you, okay, that is the problem. But this is an old patternization that's coming from the mother and the father space and the emotional space here. There's a lot of financial worry too here. And so when you're in financial worry, the more you financially worry, the more that you call that vibration to come to you. All right. So this is where they're asking you, and we say this in spirituality, stay open to receive. What the hell does that mean? And that's really hard to do. Okay. What we are asking you to do is to not succumb to the vibration of lack, to understand that you have the power to make things happen, to not allow yourself to succumb to that energy where you repattern yourself into a structure of lack. So in that vibration, the moment that you feel lack, you need to pray over that and ask for that discernment and ask for that to be removed from you. Okay? And it will. All right? Now we're going to move up here to the sacral. Now in the sacral, and in my armed and anointed certification class that I teach, we teach this not only biblically but spiritually. Okay? Because it relates to all things. And so the sacral womb here holds on to all memory. And when I say all memory, I mean all traumas, all everything. Okay? This lifetime, past lifetime, even the emotional spaces and places that others in generations cursed you or oppressed you. Okay? Now, this has caused a lot of family lineage dysfunction in this lifetime. Whether it's you, or whether it was pulled through you, or whether it was pulled from the past. So right now in this vibration, I will tell you this, that the wounds that you carry from past generations and past places are going to be removed here as I work in this. Now, once they're removed, that means I am removing soul contracts, I am removing attachments, and I am removing that contract that keeps you stuck in that vibration to react like that. What's going to happen now in your awareness of your mindset? See, I teach everything of how it reacts. You may have a negative thought. You may have an anxious triggering effect. But in that moment, you're going to catch yourself. And you're going to pull back. And that is the pattern that continues to happen until you master it. That is mastering the mindset. So here we go. We're going to work on the sacral. We're going to do exactly what we said we were going to do. Take another breath here for me. And now we are going to do this. Okay. A lot of you were feeling this energy and it's coming through you in sexual temptation. I'm not talking about right now. But in the sacral womb, maybe you've been attracted to more men or more women or more this or more that in vibration than normally you would have, right? So there's sexual temptation here. And that is not of you. That is a wound that the vibration is playing through, okay? That's making you feel that in your sacral, all right? So it's like your sacral's way more heightened and way more active than what it normally would be. All right, we're going to bring that down because that is not of you. That is not of pure sound. That is of temptation and the way that that vibration is acting out. Okay. So in spirituality, we don't talk about sexually transmitted diseases. We talk about spiritually transmitted demons, which means you take on karmic energies and you actually, and I have many people that come to me and say, well, prophetess, I'm not in that relationship. I got nothing to do with that person. I'm like, yeah, did you remove the soul contract, the attachment? Did you break up the contract? And that is part of what is here too that we're removing. Women, you may start your period early, okay? Or you may have a different type of period that may be heavier or lighter because all of that energy is being transmuted and removed by you, okay? I have to say what I have to say as a practitioner there. All right, here we go. We're moving into the solar. Whoo! Okay, there is so much lighting up in the solar right now. So there is like 15 different nodules or key codes here that I can explain and say. Okay, so there is 15 different types of destinies that are here. Different types of purposes. Different types of things that are being activated. Okay. You were coming back to Sirius, you were coming back to Lumerian, you were coming back to very ancient kingdom ties. Okay, these things are being woken up and revitalized inside of you. So there's a lot of warmth here that's going on in the belly. This is the seed of creation. This is where the creator turns things into creation. You are giving a new vibration. So a lot of you were like, I don't know what to do. I want to do this and I want to do that. These are the things that you should lead with. This is not thinking about what you should be doing, but just actually doing what you feel you're called to do. So the seeds that are being placed inside of you, you may be sitting here right now going, well, I just feel this thing, but I don't know what I'm supposed to do with this thing, right? There's nothing that's coming up. There's no, I should do this or I should do that. Okay, sometimes in spirituality, this is how spirit tests us in our solar plexus. What that means by this is, what are you going to do? Sometimes we lean on spirit too much, okay? And what I mean by that is many times I've gone to spirit, I've gone to the divine, I've gone to my team, and I said, okay, what do you want me to do with that? And they come back at me and go, what do you want to do with it? I am the decision maker, right? But it doesn't mean that I don't divine on that decision. Ultimately, the decision is up to you. So there are many of you that have many choices that are starting to play out in your destinies. What spirit is revitalizing here is that sometimes it's about you, and it needs to be about you, and it needs to be about what you choose to do. So the imbalance of you leaning too much on spirit and not on your own divine intuition and doing what you feel like you need to do is the test here for you. Okay? All right, here we go. Now, all the solar plexus needs is just a little bit of balancing to help out with understanding. Some of you are receiving the information through your dreams or things that, you know, are being put in front of your face over and over again, as it seems that they're showing me. Now, some of your souls, when I speak this, I'm going to break this down, so please don't get triggered by the first wave that I say this. Some of you have, quote unquote, lost pieces of you. And when I say lost, it's not that you have actually lost them, it's that they have been dimmed out. Right? Many people in spirituality speak of this as doing a past life regression or a soul loss, right? And my team has always told me, it's never a regression. It's never a loss. All those pieces and parts are already there of you. What you're doing is you're removing energy bodies, okay? That sometimes look like nodules or dimmed out pieces in your solar plexus. The reason being is because, yes, you might have emotionally had the release through the tears or whatever that is, right? But your body still holds on to that emotional energy because you've done nothing to push it out of you. This is why energy work and healing is so important. Yes, you may cry, you may have the experience, okay, of that being dimmed out. But at the same time, you feel in your heart and in your mind you've released it, but your body holds on to it. This is the emotional oppression, the energetic oppression. Energy in motion is your emotions. And so, yes, you may have that physical release of that crying and the realizations in the moment, but that release still gets stored in our body. A lot of you do yoga, stretching and stuff like that. You understand what I'm saying when you shake and your legs shake. It's because of the fact is that that's trauma releasing through your muscles, okay? This also comes out in our body as aches or pains, old injuries acting out, that type of stuff, because that dimming of that emotion harboration will go to an affected source in your body. Maybe some of you are prone to, you know, sore throats or prone to your lymphatic system acting up. This is representation of that. Maybe some of you have IBS, right, or Crohn's disease, and so then that acts up. All right, so here we go. We are going to then move into the solar plexus. We are restoring these pieces. A lot of you went through some very nasty traumatic things, and I'm talking about life or death experiences here, okay? I'm not talking about where you went through breakups and you went through this and that. No, or it's very traumatic shit. I'm talking about houses on fire. I'm talking about children being ripped away. I'm talking about being completely physically abused, being completely controlled, being completely chained and to places. Okay, this is very deep trauma. This is you being used against your own will, okay? Whether you didn't know any better, whether you were a child, it doesn't matter, but this is what they're giving you. So these are the experiences that we're working on there. For others of you in the solar plexus, what we're doing is we're balancing this space out for you to be able to sift through whatever doubt it is, to be able to feel what way you feel like you should go. So there's a balancing out of direction for the other half of you in this vibration. Now this one, I'm being asked to push up. So here we go. This is where I said you're really going to start and feel it. So we're pushing this up through the solar plexus And now you're going to feel it in your heart space. So you're going to feel overwhelmed. You're going to feel fire. You're going to feel desire. You're going to feel peace. You're going to literally start and feel the energy of the divine come through your heart space. Some of you might have an emotional release. You might hit your knees. You might cry, because it's going to get very powerful at this time. Through the throat, up in the throat, we're moving into the nodule of the throat. Now, the throat also works with the clairaudience. We got to break through that toll booth, baby. We got to break through that toll booth. And that's why it's important here to open up, take a breath in. All old, stale, stagnant energy release from within. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, ancestors. And thank you, birth guides, helping them on the other side. Here we go. In the throat now. Now the throat works and acts as the clairaudience, right? So when your throat is blocked and you are creating your own sin because you're not speaking your own truth in a graceful way from beginning to end from within, you block your own ability to hear and to connect in the inner ear. The inner ear is where you receive the divine intuition. Here we go. You're going to burp. You might cough. Hold on. Right there. There we go. Thank you. Now, we've got it in the third eye now. So now what we're going to work on here is balancing this out and forgetting. Some of you forget a lot. Others of you are in a place where you lose time, or a differentiance of a space. Deja vus. Okay? But you're having a lot of activation within your third eye right now. And this is correlation and connection here to the foresight, in which is opening up the higher mind. And so we're going to now open that space up. Now both sides here. There we go. Fluid flow. Front to back. Now, some people, when they're getting a lot of downloads, they're getting a lot of messages, they're going to feel heaviness here. They're going to feel a lot of, like, pressure in the third eye. Sometimes you might feel it over here in the temporal side. What I tell people to do is sit with themselves and open that vortex up, okay? And breathe that energy in and see that energy being received from both ways. So it's coming in from the front, and it's going out the back, and it's coming in the back and going out through the front. That way there's an even flow of energy that you can vibrate and feel into. Some of you are still having releases of burping here, and that's beautiful. Now we're going to anchor this in here through the third eye, through the crown, and we're going to pull it all the way down. So now you're going to feel energy come back down your throat, and we're going to take a break here at the heart. Yeah, don't choke on your own spit, whoever did that. And now, there we go. Okay, thank you, Spirit. I wanted to help. There. Now, I'm not done, but I'm going to be done here in just a minute. You're going to feel an extra burst of energy from the ground up and from the top down, and we're meeting this here in the middle of the heart space. Now, for each and every one of you that are participating in this moment, take 3 deep breaths. As I release my energy to you, your energy to me, and the divine's energy back to the divine and whole at this time. I declare and decree in the name of Jesus that you are whole, you are complete, and you are in the space of wellness, truth, abundancies, and liberty. There are no longer bondages of self that you will come into, and you will understand and see what it is that you need to see and understand at the exact point in time that you will understand it. And so now you are in alignment. Slowly take a breath, open up your eyes for those of you that were closing them at this time. And you might feel euphoria, you might feel completely new. That is wonderful. That is exactly what you're supposed to feel. You're supposed to feel a complete, almost nothingness within your body. A peaceful presence will return. And with that being said, some of you may need to drink a glass of ice cold water. Okay? And some of you may need to go walk around in Mother Gaia as well, to just kind of balance these energies out. Normally when I do these things with people, in a matter of 3 days, it usually takes up to 3 days, there's going to be a lot of realizations, there's going to be a lot of messages received, and there will be a whole lot of things changed. So in the way that you see things and the way that things come to you. So thank you for allowing me to be here with you today. Thank you for allowing me to do that with you. You're welcome. You're so welcome. Thank you all for being here. Always. I'm so grateful that I could do that for all of you. Thank you all. When I work, it's not only biblically, it's very spiritual because of the authenticity of the shaman that runs through me. So thank you so much, Catherine. Thank you guys for all your love and all your donations into the wellspring of this sanctuary. So we are Womb of the Ancient Sun. My name is Caroline Stella Wolfe. I usually go by Stell. All right. I have been a practitioner for over 23 years. In the process, most of that was shamanic and shamanic journeying and some shamanic rites and rituals. Most of that was what people call a lot of earth understandings and earth magic. At the same time, I do understand and know that all things combine. So thank you all for being here. Thank you all for that. If you guys